Alright, so here we're going to be talking about simplifying polynomial expressions. And you'll be able to see that in this example, I have actually a constant, a binomial, and a trinomial. So there are really three polynomial expressions. This one's a very, very short, simple polynomial expression. So this just is, it's not really much different than anything we've done. It's just that we have to do it step by step. So first, we have to distribute that 2 to the terms inside the parentheses. So 2 times x is 2x, and then 2 times -3 is -6. And I think this right here, that is, forgetting these parentheses is the mistake that most students will make. If they're going to make a mistake, that'll be where it is. Because you have to take the result of this distribution and multiply it by the entire trinomial there. So I'm going to write it out, and then I'm going to show you what it looks like if you make a mistake and forget to put those in. So now what this is saying we are only multiplying the -6 by this trinomial. But this is saying we're multiplying this entire binomial by this trinomial. Much different. Okay? Does that make sense? Okay. So next I have to multiply each of these terms by each of these terms. So it's kind of like foiling, except for instead of having a binomial here like that, I have this trinomial. It's just a little bit more of the same. So we have 2x times x squared is 2x to the third power. 2x times -7x is -14x squared. And 2x times a +5 is +10x. Now I'm going to multiply the -6 by x squared and get -6x squared. -6 times -7x is +42x. And -6 times a +5 is -30. And what I see here is that I have some things that I can combine. I can combine my -14x squared and this -6x squared. I can combine my +10x and my +42x. But I don't have anything to combine this x cubed term with, and I don't have anything to combine this constant with. So I'm going to get 2x cubed, and then combining my two x squared terms, I'll get -20x squared, or subtract 20x squared. Now combining my +10x and my +42x, I get +52x, and then I have the -30. And that's all that I can do in that particular problem. Would it be useful to see another problem similar to that one? Okay. All right. Great. Thank you for letting me know. So I'm going to start with a negative x outside of the parentheses here, and have a x plus, let's do a -x plus 4, and then a 3x squared plus 5x minus 6. All right. So step 1, multiplying this -x by -x. is a positive x squared. Negative x times negative 4 is negative 4x. Making sure to put it in parentheses so we multiply the entire result by our trinomial. 3x squared plus 5x minus 6. Next, I'm going to multiply each of the terms from my binomial by all three of the terms here. So you'll see 3 arcs going from the first term into the trinomial, and 3 arcs from the second term into the trinomial. So x squared times 3x squared is 3x to the 4th power. X squared times 5x is positive 5x cubed. X squared times negative 6 is negative 6x squared. Now I have negative 4x times 3x squared. That's a negative 12x squared. Negative 4x times positive 5x. That's a negative 20x. And negative 4x times negative 6 is positive 24x. All right. So now I can combine my negative 6x squared, my negative 12x squared, and I can also combine my negative 20x and my positive 24x. So I'll have 3x to the 4th plus 5x cubed minus 18x squared plus 4x. Any questions on that one? All right. So that's multiplying polynomial expressions. It's actually, I think that adding and subtracting polynomial expressions is, I don't know if it's easier or harder. I think that in ways this is easier and in ways it's harder. So let's look at an addition, right, or subtraction. So let's see like a 10, and we'll use n cubed minus 8n squared plus 3n. And then we're going to subtract from that a negative 2n cubed plus 5n squared minus 7. Okay, now I can do this in a couple different ways, and I'll do each. Okay, so because I like using colors, I think it's helpful to identify like terms. And if you do not have a way to use colors like this, well, I think it's harder, because you might think that everyone from this polynomial needs to be combined with everyone from this polynomial. But this n term doesn't have an n term over here. This is a constant. They cannot be combined together. So we can't try to. So when we're looking at this, we have the 10n cubed minus a negative 2n cubed. Well, that's the same as adding when we subtract a negative. So it's going to be 12n cubed, and then negative 8n squared minus a positive 5n squared. Well, that's the same as subtracting 5n squared from negative 8n squared. And if you need to use a calculator on these, please do. It'll be negative 13n squared. And then the positive 3n cannot be combined with anything. And then we have this -7, but we're subtracting a -7. So that's actually adding 7. Questions on that one? And I'll do it a different way in just a minute. Right. So the thing that you can do that's a little different is you can line these up vertically, having the like terms vertically aligned. So we have 10n cubed minus 8n squared plus 3n. And then we're subtracting from that a -2n cubed plus 5n squared minus 7. So I'm going to say plus 0 here and plus 0n there. And so that's one way to maybe keep track of things a little bit more easily. I'm going to put parentheses around this to remind me that we're subtracting all of this here. I'm going to scoot it over just a little because I'm running off the edge. All right. So now we have a 10n cubed minus a -2n cubed is positive 12n cubed. -8n squared minus a positive 5n squared will be -13n squared. Positive 3n minus positive 0, and it's not positive or negative, but anyway, it's going to be positive 3n. And then 0 minus a -7 is 0 plus 7. And so you can see that we got the same answer. It's just done slightly differently. Which one of those do you think you like better? Okay. And you have a way to use colors as well. So you might like it better for that reason, among others. So now when we're subtracting, we need to remember again to subtract everything inside. That's really key. When we're adding, it's actually much easier. We don't have to worry about that at all. Would you like me to do an addition problem? So we've done this subtraction problem, which I think is harder, but I can do an addition problem if you'd like. Okay. I made it longer. I'm not sure about changing the signs, but what I see that I did, notice that in this one, my powers are decreasing. And here, the powers are kind of jumbled. So they're all jumbled together. So I need to be more careful what I'm combining together. So this -8j to the 4th, it goes with the positive 4j to the 4th. This j to the positive j to the 5th and negative j to the 5th are going to be combined. The positive 7 and the -6 are going to be combined. And looks like Coach Freeze has joined us. Coach Freeze, hello. We are recording, just so you know, but the recording is not going to pick you up. So we're looking at how we made this one a little bit more confusing. So we've got our j to the, I'm going to go in the greatest degree to the lowest degree. So I'm going to start with powers of 5. And those are going to cancel each other out because we're adding a positive 1j to the 5th to a negative 1j to the 5th, and those cancel each other out. That's nice. So the next one is the j to the 4th. So I have the -8j to the 4th and the positive 4j to the 4th that we're adding together. So that's going to give me a -4j to the 4th. Next comes j to the 3rd, right there, but that's not being combined with anything. my j squared over here, 7j squared, is not being combined with anything. And notice that we're adding that positive. So it's going to be just still a positive 7j squared. And then we have the positive 7 adding to the negative 6, which will be a positive 1. And any questions on that one? All right, here's one last problem we're going to look at in this video. Find the volume of a rectangular prism if the length is 3x, the width is x, and the height is 2x squared plus 5x minus 3. Use the formula volume V equals L times W times H, where L is length, W is width, and H is height to find the volume. Now, usually I've learned that when I do L's for length, or if it's a variable, that it's a script L, because if I do it like that, it looks like a 1. Now, they don't do this in the curriculum, and I don't know why, but just know that sometimes they have an L that just looks like a 1. But I think by the context, you'll know. So since we're doing the volume, what we can do is notice that we have L is length, W is width, and H is height. So what we need to do is that's equal to, well, the length is 3x times the width, which is x, and I'm going to put this in parentheses, and actually even the 3x it would be good to put in parentheses, and then times, and the height in parentheses 2x squared plus 5x minus 3. And the reason I'm putting it in parentheses is because let's suppose that this was a binomial and this was a binomial, then we would have to remember to distribute or FOIL and do all those things, because we have to multiply it by everything, because we're multiplying all of whatever this is by all of whatever that is, and then the result of that by all of that. So it's a good idea to put it in parentheses there. It's not so obvious on this one, where it's a little bit easier. 3x times x is 3x squared. And again, I'm going to put that in parentheses, because if we were in a situation where we had a binomial, it would be harder. We would need to just make sure everything got multiplied. And now we're going to just distribute that 3x squared. 3x squared times 2x squared is 6x to the fourth. 3x squared times positive 5x is positive 15x cubed. And 3x squared times negative 3 is negative 9x squared. And that is our answer. That is the equation. If we knew what x was, that's what we would use to find the volume. We don't know what x is, so that's as simple as we can possibly make it. And that is the basically that's all of what you need to know for Module 1. We've went over all the problems that you'll see in Module 1. All right. Hope that's helpful. Any questions from the folks here with me in the class?